Let me get a piece of this. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Crew Podcast, the Crewcast, where we talk about many things. Trav, what are we talking about this week?
Okay, so wild public stories, things you've seen that are in public.
Like, you've been in public and you saw someone do something and it was just, what?
So there was one thing where I thought it was the glitch in the Matrix. So while you guys think about it, I was in the Seattle airport going back to Salt Lake, and they have a shuttle that runs from one part of the airport to the other. It's like a mini train, and I was in there, and this guy walks in, and he's holding a baby, and then he's, kind of just rocking back and forth with it. I remember just, like, looking around, and I caught him, and he, like, holds his baby, and he's like, and all of a sudden, baby projectile vomits, like, chin thing on the thing, and he kind of, like, holds his baby to kind of, like, cup it, and then he kind of just gets really close to the door, and then he's just waiting for it to open, and I was looking around, and I was like, no one else saw this but me. So he was just, and then he's just kind of like
trying to cradle it in his own
he's cradling the puke with his baby.
Oh,
Dude.
And he's just holding it in. Like, so gross. It was gross too. I remember the color. Just.
I don't like that.
Oh, another airplane story. My mom, for some reason, gets really sick for like, she can throw up on a dime. Like, there's, like,
she type that if you gag, she throws up or whatever.
They learned about that in the last episode.
Yeah, so my mom had, like, there'll be times where, like, the temperature will change or she'll get out and be like, oh, it's really cold, and they'll show it, like,
what?
Yeah, whack, super whack.
That's so, like she's cursed. She was dude. Like that's terrible.
So she was in an airplane.
She's like, temperature change. Oh.
So there was this airplane that we were going on. I can't remember where we were going. It was like me, my sister, my dad, and my mom, and it was 3 and 3. So it was my mom in the middle, on the left side, my dad on the aisle, and then my younger sister on the window seat, and then across the aisle was me. Across the aisle, and my parents were like, "You sit with strangers?" It's like, "No, I don't want to." They're like,
"No, you are going to."
That's basically what it was. So, anyways, we're on, and they're backing us away from the airplane. Quiet, nobody's talking. And then all of a sudden, my mom starts going audibly. And I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not sitting next to you. And then we're backing up. She just, and the lights go off. She just, and then I was like, maybe I'll just go to the bathroom and act like I'm not part of this. And then she grabs the puke bag, and then she's like, pump faking for like 5-10 minutes. And then all of a sudden the lights go back on. We're taking off. Or, whatever. The lights go back on because I think we're waiting. And then she goes, and then just right in. It literally looked like you microwave butter. It has like frothy on the top.
Oh!
It was like
stop
yellow, just bag, and you can kind of see the wet spot. All they are paper bags. So she just.
Is it like one of those hospital blue ones, or just like white?
No, it's like a paper bag.
Oh,
like you get like your
like
fast
a peanut
food
bag.
In. Like you get your fast food in. That was it.
Like your brown bag, the
and
sack one.
And maybe it had like aluminum pins that like when you're done, you just kind of like fold it over the top so it kind of holds it.
How is that supposed to do anything for the benefit of
like
the passenger?
provided by the airport?
Yeah. It's their puke bags. Next time you're on a plane, look for the puke bags. There's like nothing lined in it. It's literally just paper bag.
It's true.
Dude, I just bring my own Ziploc bags from then on.
Yeah, it's like after a while, the acidic
bring out that Walmart bag.
Like just. So she just, and then we're flying off, and she doesn't have a trash can, so she's gonna wait till they go up and down the aisle. But she wraps it, puts it in the back. We end up getting off the plane in the back of the seat. We end up getting off the plane, and then my mom's like, all good, and I'm like, did you throw away your puke? She's like, what? I'm like, did you throw away your puke? She's like, oh no, I forgot. This puke bag. This puke bag with popcorn butter is just in the back of the seat of the plane.
I feel so bad for the
and they don't clean it out. So someone either it just acidic.
Someone's gonna reach in there to like they're gonna go to put something in there like their phone or a book or something.
No, they're gonna pull it out. Like walk down the aisles to like check those things out and stuff. Like you see them all the time. But like, man,
Now,
that's terrible. They're like, oh, brown bag. They stick their hand in. They're like,
I want. Here's the real. Here's
they'd
the
have
real
to like
thing.
sanitize that entire thing.
What was
Like,
the
but it's in
airline?
the pocket too.
What was the airline?
I think it was American Airline.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're not checking
they're not
that.
cleaning
They're
it.
not checking that.
So
If it was Southwest, you're good.
one of two things.
Southwest,
Either-
really?
Either they catch it because it's it's like you have the magazines and then you have one with like a paper bag and you're like, so either they caught it later or someone brought it up. Second is what I'm assuming, vomit is acidic.
Yeah.
Burned through the paper bag and just on the floor. Plane takes off, slides down the aisles,
Oh no!
gets up someone's bag, touches your socks. Somebody's wearing flip flops.
Dude, imagine looking down. You're like, who spilled butter?
Who's eating lobster on the plane? Does it smell like?
Okay, what do you guys do on the airlines though? Like I literally like prepare myself. I usually try to stay awake as much as possible the day before, and then just knock out.
Pass out.
Yeah,
Okay, I see.
that's the best way to travel.
The best way
because
you
you're
get
like
in there,
on
your
and
neck,
off.
You're like, you wake up, you have neck issues for the next 3 days, but you
No,
still the whole
best
thing.
investment. I'll protest to this. Freaking a neck pillow. I will never travel on an airplane without a neck pillow. Like,
Yeah, but I was.
I have one of those memory foam ones. Oh my goodness,
scared
it
if
saved
there's
my
a-
neck so much
If there's a
trouble.
hot airline lady and I'm just neck pillow, like I can look like Jabba the Hutt. Just
Dude, at that point, I don't care. I'm just pulling my hat
Oh,
like
I've been
over my
woken
head
up.
and just
Dude, when I
out.
was in show choir and we were flying to competitions and stuff, I've been woken up by like, I was in high school, hot air person like comes by to like ask for a drink and I'm just like, drool. And like my buddy wakes me up and I'm like,
you're like,
she's right there. She's like, you want something? I'm like,
You're like, yeah, you want your food? It's like, you woke me up for that?
You want
At the same
peanuts?
time?
Speaking of which, another airplane story real quick. I remember I was on this plane to Salt Lake from somewhere else, and it was a Delta line, and it was big plane. It was like four
worst.
seats and four seats. And
One of those
plane
boxes?
maybe had like 10 passengers on it. So I was in the back,
Dang.
laying out on four seats, almost laying down. I remember, like, she was stopped next, like 5 rows up was the closest person. I was on the right. She was handing them drinks. I remember I was tired. I was like, oh, what I wouldn't give for like a Sprite and like some pretzels, kind of hungry. And I remember I was like, I'll just wait. And then I woke up as we're landing, like, my pretzels! My Sprite! I was like, I wanted it. It was literally like, all I had to wait was like 5 seconds because I remember she was like, oh, is that everything? And I was like, oh, yes. Like, talking to myself, like, oh, it's almost time to get a snack. And I just, out. And I woke up and I was actually like,
that's when
You're like,
go
where's
and
the
raid
nearest
pantry.
convenience store right now? I'm gonna get my Sprite
that's
and
when
my
I hold
pretzels. I'm gonna
hostage
get
the plane. Where's those 6 pretzels I
Where's
want?
my pretzels?
Now I crush the almonds.
Oh, yeah,
Almonds?
dude, they throw
I've never gotten
peanuts
almonds,
or almonds.
before.
I'm
I've
like,
gotten peanuts, but I've never gotten
They're
almonds.
starting to do almonds now, but they're like
Or they have
unseasoned.
those like
they're
graham
sweet.
crackers or whatever.
dude,
Yeah, I took JetBlue
Biscoffs?
though.
Yeah.
And they just
Biscoffs.
give you
Those
like,
are-
they have like 5
those
varieties of
slap.
snacks, and I got 2 packs of everything, and you can ask for more. They give you unlimited snacks.
was this
It's
international?
JetBlue?
Is this whole internet?
Oh, the only international is to London.
But was it international?
No.
Oh,
Because
then I
international,
get
they're like, here's your meal.
Yeah.
I know you can ask for more like snacks and stuff, but I'm not gonna like.
Excuse me.
Hey,
I want
come
snack.
bring me my
But then I
snacks.
can press the button and they come over and it's like, can I get a new snack? And I'm just.
Yeah.
No,
I
you,
have-
want you want me to go get my cart and bring you a snack, even though you got 4 bags of peanuts already.
Yeah, it's like they have important stuff to do. Make sure that like the old man doesn't
Yeah, making
Al
sure
Qaeda
that,
the
like,
plane with his belt or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I would wait until like everybody's done getting their food, and then I would ask, be like, if they're walking by with the food cart, you know, because they
Yeah.
go back to like the front of the airplane. Then I'd be like, hey, you mind if I get like some
they
more
give
cookies
you
or
one.
whatever?
You're like at the back. So there's like 2 rows behind. They give you, hit the other 2 as they're walking back. You
Like-
have like snacks. You're like, can I get some more?
Yeah.
They're still unopened.
I don't
They're like,
care. I'm like, I paid for this flight. I'm like
Yeah,
bringing
exactly.
That's
cookies.
true. That's true.
I have more airline stories, but I don't want to keep just talking.
Dog,
Wow.
you got some good stories.
So I was with my cousin and we were boarding from Seattle I think it was multiple. We were in the TSA line, and this was during COVID. And when we flew out of Salt Lake to Seattle, Salt Lake had like boxes and boxes of just cloth masks for people that didn't have it, but we already had ours. But on the way to Seattle, I grabbed like a mask, and my cousin forgot his in the car. So we're like, oh man, like we need a mask.
Oh, in Seattle's.
Because we were in the TSA line, and everyone was wearing it. It was like, oh, is it like that was during the time where like they're asking. Oh, I have another story for that.
Like, where's your mask?
Where they're like, hey, social distance, and then you sit inside of another person the whole flight with recycled air, like it matters.
Really? You had that?
So this is
I've never had
This
that.
is how insane the plane was.
They would always put like one seat.
I had a mask, and I was sleeping on the plane, and my mask slipped down below my nose, and she woke me up to go, sir, you need to put on your mask.
Are you kidding?
You understand that you agreed to the mask policy? And I was
Like, we're gonna turn this plane around.
Yeah.
If you don't put on your
Kinda
mask.
like, I said nothing. I just kind of, like, as salty and like as
Dude,
I could
if
get.
I got woken up with your mask is lower than your nose, I would lose it. I'd like, you're kidding.
Yeah, but the plane.
I
Didn't
was out.
The plane didn't take off, so I couldn't like.
Dude, you were out.
Die. I bombed, so I couldn't do any of that. So this is how stringent they were, and I knew this. So I was like, dang. So we're waiting in line, and I had the mask, but my cousin forgot his. So I was like, I don't want to be like it'd be weird for me to wear mine and just being like, oh, you're solo. So I didn't wear mine until we both were able to get a mask. So I assumed that all airlines maybe had like a box of masks by TSA.
Like they
so
should.
we're waiting, and you know, in TSA lines, it goes up and it snakes around back and forth until there's a long stretch where you go from like one section up to the second section.
Yeah.
So we're going, and there's a guy that was just far enough ahead of us so that when he was on the turn, we were right next to each other. And whenever we were right next to each other, we were the only two without masks. He would just start loudly talking like, oh man, I hope that people without masks aren't let on the plane. And like, we were like, oh man, like, and he would kind of do it like near us, and then he did it a couple more times, like, oh man, I hope they kick people out of airports who aren't wearing masks and want people to die. And then, like, eventually we caught on, and I was like, wow, this guy really is into the masks. And then eventually we passed, and he's like, hey, I like your masks. And my cousin had headphones around his neck, and he's like, oh, is that your mask? Like, covers your ears, but you need one to cover your mouth. And then my cousin was just like, yeah, do you have one? We forgot one. He's like, do you have an extra one? And then, you know, he ended up leaving. But we were looking at each other like, why? Like, why? So he was like, I think I'm sick of this. He's like, he went off, while I held our spot in line, he went off to like a kiosk and bought like a mask for like $7.
Yeah.
Which,
Dude, it's disgusting.
And another time we were going through TSA, and I was putting my bag on the
Conveyor belt or
on the
whatever?
conveyor belt. I was putting my carry-on on the plastic bin. But the plastic bins in Seattle aren't like fully rectangle where you know there's a short side and a long side. They're more like square. So I put one in, and it kind of like sucked in on one side, but the back side was up. So I didn't have a point of reference, and I was like, it's kind of good. So I placed my thing in, and the TSA guy comes up, and he just picks it up, and he switches it, and he's like, did you ever use those puzzle games as a kid? Where you put the circle in the circle hole and the square in the square hole? I was like, why? And he just said that to me. I was like, it fit. I was like, I don't know.
You got salted hard.
And then that very same day was the guy who checks your ID to make sure that you get on the plane. He was checking it, and he was like, oh, Travis. And he scans it, and he's like, oh, looks like you barely passed the drug exam. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, it looks like here you got 76% out of the 75 required. I was like, what? I was like, what? And he's like, nah, I'm just kidding. I'm like, why? Why? Same day. So I went through that, did that, and then that guy assaulted me out there, and my cousin was right behind me, and he just witnessed all of this.
That is awesome.
That's beautiful.
So do you guys
So
still
good.
get like kind of like the pit in the stomach when you're
Oh,
going
always.
through TSA?
Oh, and that was with the
stuff?
mask on the plane where she was like, you need to wear your mask. So it was 1, 2, 3, TSA, bag check on the plane. Just that day.
That's
Seattle?
insane.
Ooh.
Dude, Seattle, so bad.
Oh, I have
So
another.
bad.
I have one more Seattle story, but
Throw it in there.
oh my gosh.
Throw it in there, dog.
So we land one of these times. I think I only went twice. So within the consistency of going there 2 times, there and back, so 4 times flying, we landed once, and me and my cousin were going out to the arrivals, you know, so we get picked up. We're like, oh man, where's the bathroom? So I had my headphones in, and my cousin didn't have his headphones in. So I had my headphones in, we were tired, and we go to the bathroom. And I walk in first, and it's a really small bathroom. 3-stall, 2 urinal, like really small right outside. Like right before the double sliding glass door to walk out, and then the curb's right there. So I walk in, and I have my, suitcase luggage, and then my cousin's behind me. And I didn't know there was a third guy that walked in behind him. So I go in, and I open up. Oh, it was a 2-stall. So, no, it was a 3-stall. I opened up the middle one. And my cousin's walking in behind me, and I go and poo. Like, you're talking, like, it looked like a whole teepee roll was just stuffed directly in the center of the hole.
Oh, my.
And there was, poo. And, it's one of those things, like, you flush a toilet, and it clogs, and then you leave it, and the water slowly drains back down, but the toilet paper gets stuck to the inside of the bowl. That's how it was, but it was, like, poopy diarrhea. And then the middle was stuffed with, like, a wad. It looked like a whole teepee roll was just, like, mushroom kicked in there. And I was like, what? And I had my headphones in and music was playing it, so I thought it was just me and my cousin, so I opened it. And I'm like, oh, sick. Like, someone molested this toilet. And then without turning around, I just take a step back, sidestep, and then go into the next stall. And my cousin takes the one on the right, so the middle one's open. And I didn't know. I just finished peeing. And my cousin said the third guy came in. And he goes to open the stall that I just holy cow! He goes in and he goes, holy heck! And then I come out and I wash up and he's laughing. He's dying laughing as we leave. I'm like, what the heck happened? He's like, that guy behind us? I'm like, yeah. He's like, he just came in and just was like, holy heck! But he didn't use heck. He's like, holy heck! And then he was laughing so hard. I was like, why is that so funny? Like, it's funny because he was like, he saw it and he's like, can you imagine destroying a public bathroom so bad that 2 complete strangers audibly have a response to the toilet? Holy cow, someone molested this toilet. Holy heck!
There's a lot that has to happen for me to be audible in a public restroom.
Yeah.
Literally, it was so nasty. It was like middle, and then all the teepee was on the side.
I don't want to. Bless you. Dog.
So bad.
So
bad.
You know what I don't get? Okay. So, you know how, you go into a men's bathroom and it's literally just everybody's quiet and everybody just does their business and then leaves because, everybody's busy.
Yeah, unless you're at my work.
And then you have someone who has chocolate rain.
Unless it's, women. They go in there and have, full-on, discussion and meetings before. And
I've
it's
heard that. They talk to each other in the stall. My sister's like, yeah, it's weird. Like, they knock and hey. I'd be like, I'm trying to defuse a bomb in here. Relax.
Leave me alone.
No,
Let me just poop in peace. Come on.
At my work, you know what happens? You'll be at the urinal peeing. Some guy walks up, slaps you on the shoulder, holds onto your shoulder, unzips, and starts talking to you while he's handlessly just hoping he's getting it into the urinal.
He's just fire hosing it?
Yeah. That happens so often. And they just come in on the phone. They're like, yeah. And I'm like, you're talking business with a customer in the bathroom just
Dude, if I heard that through a phone,
no,
I'd be like...
They're on the phone and then they walk out.
Hang up. I'd be like, I'll call back later.
Most of the time at my work, guys don't wash their hands. It is so gross. There's literal urinal pool of piss. Just literal pool. Boogers,
Okay, that's
boogers
one
all
thing
over
I
wall.
hate about
Boogers on wall.
men's bathrooms is there's always a little puddle at the bottom of
It's
your
like,
How
underneath
hard
the
is it to
urinal.
shake? It's not that hard. Just you're in there, you shake it off, you put it away. You're good.
Although I am with you, I never hold mine. I just let mine and I just have.
You never hold
stream.
yours,
No.
even with 2
I don't.
fingers
I
or
don't
something.
let mine.
No.
I hold my
Here's
waistband.
what you do.
I
You
hold
pull your
waistband.
waistband down with
And
one
I hold
thumb,
waistband.
and then I have another thumb holding the other side,
Yeah,
but also
exactly.
the top of my shaft.
Yeah, exactly.
Gross.
I'm like, I'm not gonna just leave this
how
to
you
fate
pee.
and hopefully
Yeah.
get it in the toilet.
You're the reason there's pools.
No,
Yeah.
I hold my waistband. And I
So
make
do I.
sure I stand over it, and then when I get to the end, I lean forward a little bit.
As you should.
Yeah,
So
and
that
then
it's
I do a
actually
little.
there. Do a little.
Yeah, and then I'm done.
Nah, there's full conversations. Full.
That's gross.
You know this story. So I was at work, right?
It starts with that.
I'm going in. I'm in the big stall. It's cool. No one at my work needs to use it, and so I'm in there. I'm just clowning the toilet. Just
Hold on, I will say you are pretty dedicated to your time on pooping. 3 o'clock hits.
Dog.
The
Like
muffin man.
clockwork.
Your muffin's ready.
Boom.
You gotta go deliver it.
He's cooking one.
Nowadays it's like noon. I'm
The
like,
timer goes off. Literally, it's like clockwork. It's like 2:59. It's like Corben's gone. Where's he? Taking poo.
yeah.
Your peas
Always.
erratic. Poo.
That's because I drink 2 gallons
Clockwork.
of water a day.
Honestly, I wish I was like that. They're like, oh, it's
Okay.
3 o'clock? Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
what-
know I need to go to the bathroom. So, like, in college or something, you're like, oh, I have a class between
good.
now and then. I know I have a perfect time to poop.
So
So, but, and I've just learned to poop on command. So.
he's like, whoop, done.
Yeah, dude, I had to learn that. I had no choice.
Did you even need to go?
No, but I did.
No, it's like that. It's like if I need to take a like piss, it'd be like, oh, I'm just gonna poop too while I'm at it. See if something happens. If it, then usually
This
when
guy-
I sit on the toilet, it's like, oh, it's good.
This guy exclusively sits to pee, just in case he has to pee.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Anyways,
There you go.
Okay.
Unless I'm like drinking, I don't know why, but caffeine like just makes
No,
me
no.
need to pee really bad.
dude, coffee straight through.
Yeah, it's the caffeine. I don't know
Coffee
why.
and I just explode toilet.
Nah.
You're that Walmart guy. Where you go in and you're like, people need to get paid.
Dude, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on,
Life
let
hack.
Let Corben finish his poopy story, and then we'll go life hack.
So I'm in the stall, just doing my thing, and my manager walks in. I don't know if he knew who it was. I don't think so. But he grabs the stall and just like I was like, "Is there an earthquake? What's going on?" It like the whole stall was shaking, and then he goes, "Oh, you got the big stall? Okay, yeah, I wanted that." Gets in the stall next to me, keeps talking. He's like, "Yeah, you like doing like." He was like just trying to have a conversation. I am dead silent. All you hear is whoop, just, and eventually he stops talking, stops, and I'm like. I wiped and got out of there so
but
fast.
You forgot about the part that I remember. He was shaking and he's like, don't be shy.
Oh yeah! He said, "Come on, don't be shy. Come on."
Yeah.
I was like,
My boss is trying to assault me in this bathroom.
"Yeah."
Can you imagine? Literally, those are the locks. If you shook it enough, it'll slowly like start
Open,
turning.
yeah.
So if he did it enough, and then can you imagine slowly just opening? You kind of have to like,
Dude,
Walk
you know what
over?
would have happened?
No.
I would have, boom, foot against door. I probably would have gotten something on the floor. That door's not opening.
I don't know. I just use the smaller stalls. It is nice to have a bigger stall, but
I
like
like
smaller
that.
stalls, I just feel like because especially since the door's right there, and like also I don't want to like take somebody else's like handicap.
See,
like,
that
you know
I agree
stall.
with that. But in my work,
that's what I'm
that's not
afraid
a
of.
thing.
Like I come out and there's a guy that's in a wheelchair, and it's like, oh man, I have a piece of garbage for taking the stall when he's needing to use the restroom for like 5 minutes.
you walk out and you're like, looks like you went. Looks like you already finished.
That's
my God.
horrible.
Dude,
That's the
you're in
worst.
there,
That's
you're
so
in there,
bad.
you're going, and you see the wheels roll up, and you're like,
You're like, hey man, I
this
really need
reminded
to
me.
go. Can you hurry up?
As far as bathroom
I know you're
story-
not in a wheelchair.
As far as bathroom story, I stopped exclusively going in the small ones just because when somebody sits down next to you, for some reason,
your feet touch.
oh yeah, weird. They
You're
just
like-
drop pants and it starts smelling it. This guy I was sitting next to drops his pants instantly. Like you hear the on the toilet seat, just like that echoey, like, and then I look over. He's wearing like sandals, like the ones that you Velcro over and then you Velcro over your ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pops him off.
What?
Pops him off. Half of one is in my stall. Pops off, bare feet on the tile in the bathroom. The grout black in between. Pops him off, starts taking poo.
That's like when his like toes are curling.
I finish, I go to leave, I look back down, 1 foot slipped out of his shorts.
What? This man had the sweaty poos. He was like,
Dude, you must have had something like spicy, like some spicy like chicken wings or something.
It was in a
It's
gas
like,
station.
oh
bathroom, so I
man.
was like,
Those are bad.
and that gas station. half of
How
that
bad
side
do you
was
need
a
to
chicken
poop if
place.
you have to start undressing? I'd feel bad at that point. Like,
dude,
I've had like
100%.
sick poops, and it's like like when you're really really sick,
there's some of those where
and
you're
it's
naked.
like you're
Here's the thing.
you're sweating so bad just from like the sickness and the fever that you're like, I can't poop.
Slip right off the
comfortably.
seat.
So you just pull your pants down and take them off, and you're like, well, I'll
If
put them on when I'm done.
If I ever
I've
feel
only
like
ever done that at home though. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I ever feel like that, I'm at home. I can't go anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm undressing
true.
fully.
No, that and it's like I can be in here for hours. And no
Hours.
one will bother.
Yeah.
Whereas
Like in the
public,
public
everyone's full. Someone's been waiting, and they're like, "Hey."
Okay, that's where it comes in with my life hack though. So if Walmart's bathrooms and stuff, I will never go in the front of the store ever.
No. I
If you
always
go
to
back to the
always.
electronics, that's where I always. It's so clean and
so
everything,
much.
especially because it's like the
'cause
employees
that's the-
ones
yeah, it's the
too,
employee
because they clean that one. And
They
they're
don't care
like,
about
no,
the
we can
public
just
one."
leave the front one all good.
The
So
front
I'm
one
like,
is
I'm
a
going
straight
back.
war zone. That is a battle royale in there.
There's
The
like
back
two
one,
toilets broken, the urinals like
water's
cracked
just
and like
into
leaking.
the air.
And the like sinks never work, and the sinks are just covered with water. And like if you like lean over the sink, you just shirt
Just
gets wet,
drenched.
and
Yeah.
then you just I hate that.
See, that's my work. If you get too close to the counter with the sinks, you're drenched. That's it.
Your
So
work
bad.
had the bad, like, it had granite sinks around it before when I worked there, but they were, like, almost tilted down. Like, water would run off towards the front
Oh yeah.
and pool.
Dog.
So, like, they would have the water tension to be on the edge, or, like, if something touched, then it would all come down. So when you touch your shirt to the edge, it just
Still like that.
You become
Still
Aquaman.
that way, Doug.
That's terrible.
So bad. So bad. At least with your story, Buddy didn't start trying to get you with his grippers. Just
Oh, he gets his big toe, splits it, back of my ankle.
Dude, I'm starting
I would- I
like
would- I
freaking
wouldn't
curb
even-
stomping
I-
that foot so quick. I'd be like,
There's no
get
curb
that
stop.
out of here,
You either
dude.
cut it
Get
off
your
at the
gross
ankle- no.
toenails out of here.
Yeah, it scratches my ankle. And then, no, you just chop your ankle off. No, that's not enough. You go knee or thigh.
yeah, it's either knee or thigh. No, only option.
Just yours.
Yeah,
can
congrats. It's yours.
Yeah, I'm leaving. I got to go to the hospital.
Dude, I mean, if he cuts it with his toenail, you got gangrene anyway. So
I have more than gangrene. I got gangrene, scurvy, something new,
the gout.
Ebola, COVID-20.
Oh, dog, bad.
All right, we got off subject for a while. So does anybody
All right.
else have
Public
like
Tim, you got
public
poopy stories?
No, public stories.
Public stories.
I guess I'm not public enough.
I can go. I got a few.
Oh, yeah.
Better think.
My aura is just so good. If people around me, they're good.
Someone, yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom. You stand next to them. What was that? I'm good.
I'm good. How you doing today?
Tim's aura is Pepto.
Pepto for the soul.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Oh,
poop-
so-
there you go.
So when
Republic.
I think I've
Bring
told-
up, I'm sorry.
I think I've told you guys this story before, but I was in California and I was in San Diego for I believe it was the Super Bowl or whatever. And so I was on my way back
What
to
year? What year?
That was 2020, so
Who's
right
playing?
before COVID hit. But anyway, so I was heading back to what at the time was the base or whatever. So I was in Camp Pendleton because we were about to leave for deployment, and so I got in this Uber or whatever because I was hitting this bookstore to get like some books for the deployment because like books are key. Like if you have no internet, then it's like okay. well,
Want to
I
pass the
need
time?
yeah, exactly. And then you share and stuff, and you can trade
There you
it. It's
go.
awesome. But anyway, so I got in this Uber, and we like started driving. When I got in, I noticed there's another person, but they had like a jacket over them and stuff. The like jacket fell, and it was a girl that was in the car with us. This chick's like knocked out. She's just absolutely passed out in the back seat. She woke up like a few minutes before we got there. And so we get to like her destination, her apartment. And so we were sitting there and I could tell that something was like kind of wrong. Are you okay and stuff? Like trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Yeah. And so finally she sits there and she's like, yeah, I'm fine and stuff. And she's like, sorry, I just had surgery and stuff like that. And I was like, oh man, she's like, I had back surgery. And I was like, what the heck? And so she's like, yeah. And then she starts crying. And so we're sitting there like felt so bad for this girl, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just on pain meds and stuff."
You
And,
dropped your C7.
and so we're like, man, and I felt terrible. I was like, man, and so I got out of the car and went around the side, and I was like, hey, do you need help into your apartment and stuff? Like, I felt bad for her, but I didn't know what to do, and then at the same time, I felt like it was really awkward because it's like two guys and this one girl trying to get her into her apartment and stuff, so it kind of like was suspicious, so we didn't want to. She's like, no, I'm okay, and we're like, okay.
Yeah.
So we helped her out of the car and like kind of walked her towards her like apartment, and so she kind of just walked to her apartment, unlocked the door, got inside, and that was it. So then anyway, I got back in the car, and me and the dude started talking. I hopped in the front, and so we started talking. I was like, so where'd you like get her and stuff? And he's like, I'm like, did you get her at the hospital or something? He's like, nah, her like friends.
Shit, back surgery that day?
Her friends were at a rally or something. No, so this was like a week before, like after her surgery. And her friends took her out partying or something, and she got too drunk, and so she's probably messed up from the like drugs and the alcohol from like the prescriptions.
She
and
probably
stuff.
died.
No, so I felt so bad, and I guess her friends just like dished her in this Uber, and they're like, just put her in this Uber and like, yeah, take her home. And I was like, are you kidding me? I was like,
California,
can
love
people
it.
not be like just nice? Like, if my friend's like incapacitated, I'm at least gonna send somebody or myself to go with them.
Or I'll be back.
You're just gonna put him in a stranger's Uber car and in the middle of San Francisco or San Diego.
Oh,
And San Diego isn't the best place. Like, you hear about freaking
It's like
kidnappings.
45 minutes from Tijuana.
Yeah, exactly. Like, human trafficking down there is rampant. It's terrible. And so, like, we're always on the lookout for that kind of stuff. So I was like, man, that's some messed up friendship right there. So
Bad friends.
I'm glad that I have good friends to be able to help us out. and
Yeah.
stuff, so.
Right.
I always thought about, what if one of us was in jail and we called each other for bail money? That's kind of like
Just don't go to jail, guys.
Yeah. How about no?
because that's like what real homies do. Like, oh, like I need to call my friend, go tell him like to get me bail money. That would. If somebody called me, I'd be like, oh,
You think I got that kind of money?
it's $20.
I go.
What?
I go.
No, if it was like $5,000, sorry, dude. I'm just gonna tell you right now, I ain't gonna give you
I
$5,000.
think I'd maybe think about like $200.
Travis,
I think that'd be
you
my
bail me
limit.
out,
Yeah, for bail.
please.
If we all
was
pulled
like-
in together for like $1,000,
$200
if somebody had somebody was in jail
Yeah.
for $1,000, then I think we'd all pitch in and try to get them out.
Nah, let them think about what they did.
Now,
Unless
we
it was like,
definitely
unless it
leave
was
them
like
there for a
really
second,
bad,
you know?
like unless it was like they like did not do anything. They're
It also
wrongfully
depends
in
on the
jail.
court date. It's like, oh, the court date's like tomorrow. It's like, you're staying in jail for the night.
Sorry, dude.
Don't touch that soap.
You better find somebody's pocket to hold tonight, dude. Like, you're gonna get some, bro.
You're gonna get spooned tonight.
Sleep with an eye open.
Yeah.
Start
No,
sharpening
you better
your
not
pencil.
sleep tonight, dude.
But if it's like a month
Good
out,
luck.
it's like, looks like you got 4 weeks to pay us back.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's fair.
Right.
I got some good ones.
I want a Tim story. I want Tim.
I want Tim
I
too.
want Tim.
So,
Whacking.
Do you have any ones from like Vegas or something?
probably more like in Honolulu. Because because I just like walk the streets of Honolulu like every night,
Yeah.
and just there are a lot of homeless people out there. Just it is the perfect place to be homeless.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Perfect weather.
No snow. It's like if I was to be homeless somewhere, I'd be there.
But can you imagine it raining?
All you
You're
need
like,
is
"Ah!"
a tarp.
Yeah,
Or a
And
hurricane, you're screwed.
there were so many
Spy
homeless
tarp.
camps, like just there and there, just
They all
like
congregate together.
yeah, they all
start
congregate,
bonfires,
yeah.
and they
It's
cook.
like
But what's
Stay
too
home
bad
hot
is
dogs.
like it's mostly like the indigenous people from like Hawaii and stuff. that
Yeah,
are
I know,
homeless.
it's kinda- it
it's
is sad.
terrible.
Yeah.
I feel super bad about that. Like that's messed up.
and
You
it's
know,
like
you're
a-
homeless
yeah.
on your own island, basically. It's like
But
Yeah.
did you see anything crazy? Like you saw someone like snorting cocaine?
Cool cane, as Travis says.
Cool cane?
That Colombian no sugar.
So
Saying it's
this
beer.
wasn't a homeless person, but I do think I met someone who was like actually possessed. It was weird because it was like we started talking in normal at first, and it
He
seemed
touched the
normal.
Planetar from Lord
But-
of the Rings?
A little bit. So it was this lady who she was just talking about a few stuff, and we're like, okay, sure, she sounds.
She starts floating. Tim, this may be bad.
This could be bad. His head starts spinning.
The power of
not
Christ
good.
compels you.
This is bad.
It's basically what. Not really. But just almost more like. It was weird to see like the personality change. So maybe it was just a split personality, something. But
Yeah.
she just was like talking normal, and then just like almost just changed, and like there's something in the eyes. Like you just lose that light
Like
in the eyes.
Bilbo
Like,
when he was like, "Give me that ring."
a little bit. So just like that light just like disappear, just like almost so fast, and then it was just gone. Like we tried just talking, it was like, okay, we
You
just
almost
need
got
to go.
murdered.
Yeah.
So
Dude, you almost got split, dude.
You almost got.
Dude, that's the uncanny valley. That's what makes CGI look real, is the light in the eyes.
yeah,
Legit. I CGI artists talk about it all the time. If you want someone to look real, CGI, they have to have that light in their eyes, something that's like there.
yeah,
If you see a real person without that, run. Run.
yeah. It got scary fast.
No
I'd
thanks.
be like, whoa.
Especially when you're in someone's house, because like you could be talking to them, and all of a sudden their husband like comes around the corner and he has like a hatchet, and you're like, ooh. You're about
Nice
to
thing
get...
is we were outside still, so
That's good. That's good.
You
it
ever,
felt safer.
you, ever,
Sunshine.
you ever go to people's houses and they open them and they're like, get off my property, or they go like, yeah, stay there for a second, and they like leave, and you're like, time to go.
Not like that. I had some people that just were pretty angry. Just like knocked their door. They were like, "Get off!" And then
You're
one
like, yo,
guy-
dude, you freaking.
Yeah, one guy did threaten like with a shotgun. He was like, "I got a gun like over here. You gotta get going." So
I'd be like,
Yeah.
alright,
Dog, we're
dude.
just trying to spread the good
See ya,
word.
dude.
yeah,
I know Brazil is really big in like thieves, like people steal from you. So like
Pickpocketing is
Yeah,
huge
my
down
brother.
I mean, that's huge.
My
in Europe,
brother-in-law
too.
was like,
Yeah.
like I got robbed at like gunpoint, so he had to give his bag up, and he didn't care about it. He just wanted the camera for like all his photos he had. So he's like, oh, I got that stolen. He's like, that sucked. And then I had a
Oh,
boss
that's
who
bad.
worked there, and he had a nice watch, and he was like holding on the railing of a bus, and right as the doors opened, some guy just like ripped it off and just.
Oh yeah,
Oof.
So Brazil was pretty insane.
that reminds me of. I don't know. It was Mexico or South America, somewhere in South America or Mexico, and I don't remember who it was. Either my grandpa or my uncle, but he was on his mission
Your
there.
uncle?
Yeah. And legit, there was like two warring like factions, like straight up two gangs, and one gang was like fully protected the missionaries down there. The other gang was like totally against them. So like missionaries would be walking in pairs, and there would just be like 5-6 guys like walking behind them like down the street, making sure they're good. They like rolling around. Legit. And he was like, it was pretty cool. We had like an entourage everywhere we went, just in case.
legit.
And they did get shot at a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a stories.
Oh yeah, it was.
That's freaking
He was
insane.
telling. He was like, yeah, it was terrifying, but we got back up.
As far as mission
yeah.
stories go, my dad always told me about one where he served in Guadalajara, Mexico. Somebody served him like pig feet and like chicken feet. It was basically just they just cut him off, chicken broth, and then they would just serve him. So he was like,
Yeah, they just
he
put.
would grab it.
I don't
and
know
he
what
would
the
just,
point
like,
is. They put the whole
stick it in
foot
his sock.
inside the broth.
Because when
It's
you
like-
go, they don't have bathrooms and you can't flush stuff, so you'd have to put it in the bin. So it's like he couldn't dispose of it and like, can I go to the bathroom and like hold it in his mouth? He would just stick it in his sock, and he'd just walk out and he'd just have like fat ankles of just chicken feet. So like he'd have that and just
Oh.
I don't know. At the same time, it's like, dang, I don't want to be rude to these people because that's all they can do.
Well, no, yeah,
but
that's what they give you.
hereditary. It passed to my brother when he served. He went to Pittsburgh and he got a big slice of like chocolate cake, and he goes and he takes a bite into it. And he's like, this chocolate cake tastes a little weird, you know. And then he kept eating it, and then later they were like, oh, so how do you like my beet cake? And it was like
What's wrong with that?
he had realization. He was like, oh man! And since he thought it was chocolate cake, he got a big piece of it, and he was like, I don't know what. And like, because he thought it was beet cake, he was like, I can't eat this anymore. So he also remembered hearing about how my dad stuffed it in his sock. So he just kind of, stuffed it in his sock. He's like, when I got home, it's just trash.
Dude, beet cake is so good. Tim, have another one?
So this was just awkward.
Ah.
So we knocked on the door, and they're like, okay, cool, it's missionaries, and they invited us in. We just walk in, and there's like their whole family just like doing the other things, like kids on the ground, people in the kitchen, and she just like sits us down, and like we find out no one in the house even speaks English, and
Ooh, what do they speak?
it was probably like Tagalog.
Filipino.
Tagalog.
Okay.
So it's like we knew like 2 words in Tagalog. Like
How do you do
hi.
this?
Yeah,
Tagalog
we say
is
that, and we're like,
intense.
and so then we just sat there trying to actually like talk and see what they want, because she sat us down and then she just like walked away, started doing her own thing, and like basically everyone was ignoring us, and we're like, what are we?
Can we sit down and have a conversation?
Yeah.
She's like, no,
So,
I just wanted
Were
missionaries in
people
my
kind
house.
of giving the smile nod, like,
What are you doing
I like
here,
that,
dude?
but- Yeah,
Nice.
so we were just sitting there for like a couple minutes. We're like tried to get their attention, and then we basically just had to like walk out of their house, because it was like
That's so
it was
awesome.
What do
just
you do?
weird.
so I
Yeah.
also heard a rule, you can't be at someone's house for longer than like an hour.
Yeah. Unless you're like teaching good lessons.
Yeah.
You're like slapping the lessons in there.
That's-
Yeah, but like for eating or like meals,
Yeah.
you're supposed to keep it like an hour or something.
They actually banned, essentially banned, said that we couldn't have dinners with the members during the weekdays because missionaries were spending like 3 hours every night. Just,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
There is like, so we
Just
had to eat on our
clowning.
own. We're
Dang
like,
it! You're
yeah.
like,
It was like, you messed it up for us.
I mean, it does make the missionaries not become fat, though. Because I know Polynesian food is
Yes.
awesome.
Polynesian food.
Especially their freaking pork, I hear, is fantastic.
I have
Good kids.
so my brother who went to Pittsburgh, he has a best friend that went to, I can't remember, it was somewhere else in the States, but this was just a cool story for him. I guess we'll just, while we're on the topic, but he went to go knock on someone's door, and he felt impressed to open it, but you know, it's a stranger's door, so he's like, I'm not opening it, like, you just opened some guy's door, and he's never been to the house, new area, and then he's like, I'm not opening the door, and he was like, you better open this door, so he kind of just opened the door, and the boyfriend was holding his girlfriend at knife point, like hostage style, and he ended up like talking her down and like, you know, talking it different, and was like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, you know, he just gets upset sometimes. So it was like an abusive relationship, but like to just open it, and he's just
He just
Probably
gets
stopped
upset
the murder
sometimes.
right there.
yeah. So I was like, that's a cool story. I was
He,
like, how
he gets upset sometimes. It happens. I almost die every night. That's
like-
No, it's just a
Get out of
fetish, a
that.
knife
Dude,
fetish.
if I was him, I legitimately would have called the cops.
yeah. I don't know if that's a missionary's place too or something. with
If
the-
I don't
I
care
don't
what
know.
I'm doing.
It's a place of
You
a
should.
man's
If you
Yeah,
see
yeah,
someone
yeah.
holding a knife to a
Yeah.
woman's throat, cops.
yeah, no, obviously.
It's like you talk them down, you're good, and then you go.
but I'm talking about like
I just watched an
issues with
attempted
that.
murder.
I feel like you guys are like,
Yeah, like they shouldn't start teaching them.
yeah.
Self-defense class.
Anyways, y'all wanna learn?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and speaking of shootouts, somebody was saying that someone got shot at. Yeah. My brother went and he was about to baptize this guy, and then he was like, "Is there anything else?" And they ended up talking over like he was in a biker gang. And he actually went and like shot up a place, and he shot in a building where there was people. And he's like, "I don't know like if I hit anybody." So he called his mission president. He's like, "So I don't know if this guy murdered anyone or not." Like, and then his mission president was like, yeah, we can't baptize you. Because, like, he may have killed someone. So that takes, you know, like, a whole different
Yeah.
process. But, like, he was all ready to get baptized and everything and, like, fix, you know, do whatever he wanted. And then he was like, yeah, so I, like, shot at, like, a building. And it was like, you probably
But
could
I
have
don't
killed
know.
someone.
Wait, do you have to do a whole different set of paperwork for that or
No,
something?
it's not paperwork. It's just you have to go through, like, a process of, like,
Talking to,
talking
like,
it out, seeing what actually
It's like
happened.
you have to actually meet with the mission president. And
Yeah, like you have to meet
bishops,
with more than just like a bishop if you actually murdered someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like if you
Because I was like, I
like-
feel like criminals and stuff. I feel like there's like some instances of like missionaries teaching criminals and stuff. You know,
Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah. It's
You know,
really
yeah,
something
that's why
like
it's a
that.
longer process because
Yeah.
you have to
Yeah.
make sure that you actually.
I'm surprised the
changed your
missionaries
life and
don't
all
get
that.
taught that. Just be like, hey, like in this instance or like this circumstance, come talk to us about it. Or like,
I'm
hey,
sure they
this is
do,
what
yeah.
needs to
Yeah.
happen or something.
Yeah. It's just normally you, like I've interviewed the people to be baptized, so it's like
Yeah.
it has to be the mission president that does it or someone else beyond just like people my age.
Yeah.
Our
It takes
age.
someone.
Because I was like,
Senor.
if something
Yeah.
like that happens, and the Lord cleanses the other sins, but they're still held accountable for that one. There's some sins that you can't like take back, basically. So
Yeah. Very few.
yeah.
Unless you see Jesus and you go, not real. That is like you are done.
Yeah.
You're about to see Allah.
Not even that.
I was
It's
gonna
like
say,
you're gonna
no,
see
you're
Pretty
gonna-
sure Allah would be in outer darkness. You in outer darkness? Hi. Muhammad, Hitler's probably in there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Not Muhammad, freaking.
I was like, wait, the Prophet Muhammad?
Super racist. that Arab guy who blew up everyone? Muhammad. His most common name. Saddam. Bad guys.
Yeah.
There's that, and then what's the other one? Because you can kind of repent. Like murder's kind of like the.
Yeah, that's the
It's
big.
like.
Well, I know if you
man.
do like say like, oh yeah, I don't believe in Jesus, it's basically what is the like sin in the life for you?
No. You have
saying
to have
like
like proof. Like I said, you have to like see him and then go.
yeah, basically they're saying like it's like looking at the sun and believing with like full extent of your heart that the sun
Dude,
isn't real.
I think if you're
Yeah.
looking
I'm like,
at the Earth and saying flat.
Dude.
I met so many people in Hawaii that actually were
No.
flat earthers. It was so dumb. And then one guy started trying to
heck?
teach out of the Bible, being like, it proves it right here in the Bible. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
You're wrong. You're actually wrong.
I've
Yeah.
called a lot of those 855 for truth numbers, and I talk to them, and I'll ask him about something. I'm like, so what do you think about like?
You've called those?
You
Yeah.
called those?
They're just Christian people that like try to help you like.
Yeah.
No, but
They're
that's so-
helpful.
I've
like they
never,
try
like-
to get you for like, if you're feeling bad, like they try to help you like go towards Christ. But I don't think they're very like. They don't have like a sect
Knowledgeable.
or anything.
Yeah.
I think they're just Christians.
Non-denominational.
But I'll ask him about stuff like, what do you think about like modern day prophets, or like, what do you think about like personal revelation? Like that's not like
Yeah.
really a thing for other people. And like, all they'll do is they'll get some random Isaiah verse, which is just scripture poetry, and then it could be put up to interpretation. They just go, they read it and they go, does that make sense? Like essentially,
You're like,
they talk about it a
Yeah.
little more, and they go like,
It's like if I can't answer the question, I'm gonna just speak like a scripture at you, and then you have to
toss
interpret
it
it
in
yourself.
there.
And
So
I
it's
learned
like,
recently,
okay, dude.
he pulled up a scripture, and I looked it up on my phone, and it didn't match up right. 'Cause
dude, they have different. Yeah, they don't use the
used
King
a
James.
modern
Yeah.
translation of it. It was where
They
it's
use
put
modern
into
translations.
words like are today. So
Yeah.
and they add stuff that's not even in the original Bible.
Yeah.
There was like a whole sentence that he had, and I was like, oh, that's
My
like
friend.
really cool added sentence.
There's
and
a
I went and I looked, and I was like,
Bibles.
you just make this ish up. I think regardless of like religious, like people that do that, I think have good intentions.
Yeah.
And like same with like leaders of the world, regardless of their political, like how evil they are, I think they're blessed in their capacity to just watch over the land, and I think they're held to make good decisions.
Unless they're Biden. Unless it's Biden.
Obviously,
Yeah, I was like, wait
He
a
would have been
second.
way worse.
everyone has their
He doesn't
free,
even have a right mind, dude. Right
Dog
now.
doesn't know where he is.
everyone obviously has their free agency to do whatever, but I think they're helped more than just some guy in a different political position. I don't know. I think they're helped as leaders of the world and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I don't know. Look at how the world is right now. It's kind of garbage.
That's
so
not
I'm
the
like,
leaders. That's the society.
No, I
And
think they're
TikTok.
blessed. Like,
but the
if
society
they do good, they're
creates
blessed
the
to maybe
leaders that
physical health.
and vote the
They create
leaders
those.
that actually like
Exactly.
come into power and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, what the heck is going on?
No, yeah, obviously when you get a bad leader, but I think they're like physical health, maybe the love for people, regardless. They're blessed with that. I think people grow their hearts for different things. I think being a political leader really changes people. Like Trump now, I think is different from Trump when he had a TV show and where he was all about like
In Home Alone.
yeah, like I think he had like. He judged models or something, or like he had his own like fashion thing
He
he was
was-
running,
yeah, he
and
was-
he kind of said yes and no to people.
Well, have you
I think
ever-
he's different now, where he's like, I like everyone. I want everyone to be better and different people. I think he's more towards.
I think
that.
he actually has like realized his mistakes in the presidency, especially with like his speaking and everything. I think he's kind of like quiets down a little bit because he used to just say the most
Oh, his
obscure
filter
things and
gone.
stuff.
No filter.
And people were like
That's
so
why
mad at
people
it.
got mad.
But at the same time, like so many like
It's like he's
like-
playing ball. He's
Yeah.
just
he just rebounded what was happening.
Yeah,
And people
so-
go,
The thing is, people say like such like absurd things. I feel like he just throws it back at him by saying more absurd things, and
It's like,
everybody's
oh, you're being
"What?"
absurd? Up.
Yeah, it's like I just gotta step up the game from here. It's like how much absurd stuff can I say to like puff it out or something? You
I think
know?
he was the type of guy where if he didn't like you, he would say something about
Yes.
it, while others would
Well,
just
yeah.
go, no further questions.
But the thing is, it's like if somebody tells you something to your face about it, like I would respect that more than freaking if somebody who's
That's
just
why I
like
think
talks
behind
behind
the
your
back,
back,
yeah.
you know.
That's why I think there was that big split of like either he got a lot more support from people deeply, and then there's a lot of people that got more jaded.
Oh, it was
towards
super split.
Yeah.
Because it was like,
Yeah.
hey, he actually speaks his mind. This is cool. And then it was, he says he doesn't have a filter. He's racist. It's like, no, he just says what's on his mind.
The thing is, what I
He
hate
has a thought and he
nowadays
just says
is
it.
like you have to choose between like the greater like good, you know, or like the less evil, you know.
The less
it's
evil.
like Hillary
Oh, yeah.
or Trump. Who's gonna win? So you kind of saw
Both
that, but
bad.
then it's like at the same time, it's like look what happened to this last election. Like look what you did choose in reverse like aspect of like choosing Trump instead because you guys disliked him and thought he was dishonest. But look at the president now;
then
he
we
can't even
pulled out
talk
of-
about his own words.
That's why I think, in all American history, I could be wrong about this, but I think in all American history, like, what usually happens is when your party is in the presidency, nobody runs to compete with them in that same party. I think
Yeah.
that's going to change upcoming. I think somebody from the Democrat Party is going like, Biden is losing the Democrats, the people who support him. So we're going to have to get someone in there. So I think Biden's going to have to verse someone brand new. Because
Well, the
who
thing
else
is,
is the most famous Democrat? Like,
nobody right now.
nobody.
I've been hearing
Hillary
the
Clinton,
New York
but she'll
governor or
lose again.
something.
She's famous for all of the scandals.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
think
she's famous
I
for.
think
No,
her
not being
credit
first
is
lady,
gone.
secretary,
Gone.
but like, she's the most other like famous political like Democrat leader. Again, there's like new people, there's governors, but it's like
Yeah.
nobody's on a national basis. Like, it's gonna have to be a new game.
They're
If I
gonna
was
have to
put
pull
it-
somebody out.
Regardless of what Mike said, I don't know if Trump will vote again because
I
it's
know.
one of those things. It's like, it's confirmed there's election fraud. It's
Well,
like,
and also
he's
he's
just gonna
like
get cheated again, or
almost
something.
80.
Something's gonna happen where it's like,
He's almost 80.
That is true.
Like,
You know
if
what's
I
so-
were him, I wouldn't run again. I
Yeah.
was like, that was stressful enough.
You know what's really interesting?
I would sponsor someone that I supported if I were him.
Yeah,
I'd be
that's
like, yeah,
the
I
thing,
will
like, it's-
See that.
throw money at your campaign.
yeah, it's like, is he gonna go through all of that again?
I
Because
don't
it
think
was
so.
easier to just be in the swing of things, but now it's like he had to disconnect for 4 years. Now he's gonna have to go in and basically just. His 4 years would just be fire control, where he's
Yeah,
putting
trying
out
to put
fires
out all the
and just
fires.
getting things back. So there's really no progress. That's why there's that big.
well, the
swing.
thing is, I do feel like from like, especially like Trump isn't a normal politic, you know.
Well, no, he owns like
He's-
He's more
businessman.
he's
Big
a
guy.
businessman instead of
Yeah.
a politic, you know. And then look at Biden; he's been a politic for how many years?
he's been a
and Trump's
politician
been a
for
businessman.
like 40 plus years.
Yeah, but
I
the
think it was,
thing
like,
is,
52 or something.
America is like it's literally a business. So you have to be able to see like
You have to learn
what
how to
you
run a
need to
business.
cut your risks and be able to take an L and be able to like win in some categories.
me
But
tell
you're
you
not
the
going to win
L.
in everything.
Let me tell you the L America shouldn't have taken, pulling out of Afghanistan.
Yep.
Worst.
Absolutely.
That will
That
go
was-
down in history
Yes,
as the
but
worst
in a
move we have
smart
ever
way.
made.
Yes,
Besides
pull up, but in
Vietnam.
a smart way, like
Don't pull out until
Trump's
we're
during
done.
The whole 4 years.
That's what I'm
he
saying,
was slowly
though.
getting out, but
Slowly. You don't
Yeah,
just
like one day.
Rip that band-aid off.
15,000
video I showed you
American
with the wax.
citizens and allies left.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars of weapons and equipment
It
just
was-
left.
Well, the thing is, you do have to like
Billions.
think about the like military aspect of that because if it costs more money to ship things back that are in worse condition than get like just building something new. So is it worth either just getting new
But
things?
now it wasn't super
Another
old
thing is they
equipment.
just gave them the equipment.
It gave they
That's
have
the
they have
problem I
billions
have.
of dollars of
So even though
American
it's
made
not
equipment.
brand new our equipment, it
It's
is.
brand new for them.
It's
Yeah.
brand new years ahead of their technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're going to be able. It's not like our new technology versus our old technology. It's not like where it's like an '80s aircraft versus now is so different. It's like it's on par.
It's
They're-
pretty-
We have
yeah.
a cutting edge now. It's like we just gave them.
We just gave them so much.
You know what's interesting?
And then
So
all of
I
the
was
allies and
I was
people.
listening to a podcast about like a like Afghanistan like person coming over here to America and how he saw like the Americans coming into like Afghanistan and like the technology that we had just back then, like that's 20 years ago, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so like
changed.
it's such a different like world. Like they were surprised at like glow sticks. Like they were like, "What the heck is this?" And they would just like break them and like give it to them, and they freaked out because they're like, "This is so cool."
That too, and like they didn't have night vision. That was a big plus
Yeah.
on us. They didn't have night vision, and we left just crates of night vision. Also, I think we may have talked about this earlier. I think you were there, but like there was something about like there's a certain amount of satellites for GPS in orbit, and like I think China owns like 1, Russia owns like 3, and like the rest are us. And there's like 85% of all the satellites are us. So when we're in war, we encrypt that section's GPS so they can't use it. So it just messes them up. They're flying a plane.
Well, that's not.
Siri, take me to the enemy. Die?
Well, the thing is, encryption is more like communications and stuff like that. So it's like a code to be able to talk in a certain radio.
No, yeah. So they encrypt the area so
Yeah.
we know we can use GPS. But
Yeah,
we go,
only in that area.
fetch you!
The thing is, communication in like any war is massive. Like if you
It's
take out their
big.
communication, it's all gone.
Well, I think we're at a point now where, like, if war was to happen, there's always, like, we're going to have to play it so smart where you can't push someone so far where they go, nuke? Yeah, and then everyone goes, nuke? Like, you're going to have to go very small battles.
Measuring contest.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's interesting because mostly like what like guys train nowadays and stuff is for like EMP attacks and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that'd be.
You know, like if you have an EMP, it
Modern
takes
Warfare
out
2.
all your like stuff and everything. We're literally trained with a compass and a paper map.
Speaking
it.
of that, there was.
And they're like, all right, figure it out. How do,
Well, yeah,
how
'cause
do
if-
you call for fire on the friggin' position without a friggin' radio or like
Well-
a GPS to give you coordinates and stuff or be able to laser
a lot of
target,
military
you know?
vehicles too. Like besides like Humvees now are starting to get like electronics, but like there's supposed to be like older equipment that like you have where it's EMP proof.
Yeah.
Because it's just.
But
that's
I'll
it's
tell you right
slowly-
off the bat,
slowly-
it's not EMV proof. Like
Yeah.
a lot of our stuff, specifically for like Marine Corps, like all of our stuff is garbage and stuff like that. Like it's so old, we literally just get hand-me-downs from all the other like branches. So it's kind of like, oh well, EMP comes out, all our communications and stuff is gone, but we still have a diesel engine. It's like we'll run the guy over. Like
I was
we don't
gonna
care,
say-
we'll get it done.
I was gonna say there was the coolest TV show. Who's that? Like, he's like one of my favorite actors now. He's the black guy who played in Breaking Bad. Like he played Gustavo.
Oh, yeah.
He plays like
I
the villain.
I know
once.
you're talking
He's in Far
about, I
Cry
can't
5,
remember.
that bad
6,
guy.
Far Cry 6.
Oh,
Far Cry 6. Do you
He's,
know who I'm talking
his
Yeah,
name is Gustavo Fring in
Yeah.
yeah Breaking Bad. I don't remember.
But he's a
anyways.
good. He's a
He
good
played
actor.
so many in TV shows as like bad guy. He's such a good actor.
So good.
There's this one TV show. It's called Revolution. If you guys
Oh,
ever get
yeah.
around to it, it's like 2 seasons or
EMP,
something.
baby.
Yeah, EMP hits the whole world, and everyone goes back in a time where like everyone like
You
there's
don't
no
have
America.
electronics.
Yeah, there's no electronics. People are like hunting with bolt actions and like basically like black.
They have
powder
like
guns.
steam engines and stuff,
Yeah,
I think, or
there's
something.
no
Wait,
more
would
America.
modern
and he's
weapons
leading,
not work?
Like a whole revolution to try to like regain and like promising people something so good, and then canned.
But like with the nukes, I don't think it will ever come to that because everyone, I don't care how stupid you are, knows that as soon as a single country uses a nuke, we're done.
Yeah.
Every country will say, "All right, beep." Literally
Thing
that
is,
fast.
I've heard that like people talking about like what could happen, especially with Ukraine and Russia and stuff like that. That like if Putin decides, they would probably the most likely target would be Germany and stuff. And then the world has the dilemma to like either say we can escalate this to the next level where it's basically going to come out of the bag and everything's going down, or we sacrifice how many millions of people in that city and be like, you're fine.
I think
You know?
I think this is one
And
of
that's
those
the
things
huge
where it's-
moral
hard.
dilemma.
I think
you know?
this is one of those things where history is repeating itself. Where just
yeah.
like in World War I and II, like
World War II, especially, like, Germany broke its convention, like, its agreements by making a bigger army, and then they invaded someone, and everyone just kind of stood around and did nothing.
Nobody did anything.
Until they took an advantage. I think Russia is doing that. They're not
seeing
poking
what's
the
gonna
bear,
happen.
which is NATO, all the, like,
Yeah,
like,
they're
unionized.
poking like a
They're
small bait.
Yeah, they're poking, and then they're gonna someone's gonna give and concede, and that's just how it's gonna be, and then it's gonna go, give me more, and then eventually someone's gonna have to go, we have to do something about this, and then something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's
Or
interesting because
something's
Ukraine
gonna happen,
right
like,
now is pushing into
Ukraine,
Russia.
yeah, they're crushing. They're crushing for what they
But
have.
the thing is, a big thing that's brought up a lot is we know Russia has better tanks, better technology and stuff. So we're
Disagree.
are they bringing in their crap units and their crap tanks and stuff just so they can show
a sneaky-
Oh,
yeah.
Ukraine invades them, and then they're like self-defense.
Because
dog.
there hasn't
Oh,
been
I see,
really any spottings of any special forces
true.
within Ukraine or anything like the Spetsnaz.
Dude, have
And
you-
there's no supply
no
lines.
force.
Like tanks have been running
Yeah.
out.
I saw a video.
Interesting.
So it's interesting because it'd be a huge thing because if they're oh, now you feel comfortable that you're winning, nope, send in everything and then be able to
Dude.
pull it out of the bag. Because everybody's taught that oh, Russia's this big bad superpower and stuff.
Yeah,
But
it's
when in
known as the
reality,
superpower.
they're what are they doing,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But there's the front line. They don't even have medical. They don't have medics. They don't have. There was a video I saw. Russian soldier, his arm was just destroyed, and they took off the bandage, literal packed full of maggots. I kid you not. He was brushing them out of his wound, and there was just hundreds of thousands of maggots in his wounds.
Was this
I
Ukraine
don't want.
or
No, it was
Russia?
a Russian soldier, and there was look at the Russian medical care that they're getting, that from their medics that they sent out.
I don't
They
think
don't-
there's
they're
any
not.
fixing that unless you go to
No, that's
hospital. That's
Yeah, but
That's-
hospital.
Well,
they're
the
they're
thing
in
is-
Ukraine.
I wouldn't brush out the maggots because maggots actually eat the infection and bacteria that's in your arm because there's instances back in the Mountain Man
It's-
era
it's
and that kind of stuff old science
But
where
that's
they
the-
put maggots
that's
in it
the
to be
last
able to
step
help
to
clean out.
actually healing is okay, time to get these maggots though.
Yeah, once they get it out, then that's when the arm can either get patched, graft, or whatever they can
But
do
I was
to
like- I
help.
was like-
or
Russia.
in the end.
That's just
I was like,
bad.
Take out
Russia
the
is
arm.
just getting destroyed right now. There's another video.
I think there's also that thing of Russia's doing stuff. I think there's a lot of testing to see what leaders are actually going to do because we've been at a constant for so long that leaders now don't know what it's like to actually make decisive
Hard
decisions.
decisions like
yeah, to actually go, you need to stop or we're touching you.
Yeah.
You need to stay in place.
Well, the
But
thing is, they don't
also,
have the
it's
balls
not
to do
our
it
place to
anymore,
do that to
you know?
somebody else's country.
The
And that's
thing
where it
is,
goes-
I do think
Even
America
though it's
is
the right thing.
responsible, especially for the nuclear thing. We literally pulled the nuke out of the bag.
Oh,
And
yeah.
now we have to police everybody on what the guidelines
Yeah,
are.
well,
for
no
the
one
nuke.
polices us.
But then it's we're the ones that
use.
used it first, so they're like, why isn't that fair?
We're the only
so
ones
it's
that have
like,
ever used
come
it.
on.
We're the only ones that have ever used it, and it's yeah.
But I mean, what does that entail for the rest of the world?
Exactly.
What is that gonna happen? What is it gonna do?
They have set the
hence Cold
guidelines.
War. Hence now,
Yeah.
everybody's pushing a nuke at your throat, and it's well, what's she gonna do? But it's just kind of this looming freaking threat behind, in everybody's back of their mind.
So this became a very serious episode. It's also an hour and 10 minutes.
Okay, we're
Yeah. So
Done.
thank you everyone for watching. Leave
Yeah,
anything
thanks.
you want us to discuss in the comments.
That's Cornback, Blender, Tim,
Tim
ya boy.
and your boy.
Yeah, Senor
yeah.
Big Man.
Travis.
I'm Stinky Pete.
Stinky Pete. So thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for tuning in, listening, whatever you did, and we'll catch you next Saturday. You just got a piece of that. Let's go.